what's going on. Tell them what's going on. What's up, everybody? It's For the Culture Soccer Podcast. The soccer podcast for us, by us. You got your boy Tony right here, and along with me, I got TK to my left, and I got Grego on my right.
Yo.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Man, the streets are hot right there, man.
Burning?
Yeah, man. It's
blazing.
It's hot out here, man.
It's hot everywhere.
Really.
What are you talking about? It was cold today. What are you talking about? It was cold. It was like
it was nice.
Global warming.
It was nice, and then like tonight it just.
Oh no, it got nice during the day for sure.
Then it just dropped, and I was like, damn, I brought the wrong jacket. But hey, you know it is what it is, man. What's up, man?
Well, I'll tell you where it's hot right now.
Where?
It's hot in the Middle East, man. Things are popping off.
I thought you were going to say like Australia.
Well, we go either or.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah, man. Shout out. I'm pretty sure we have some Australian listeners. I know we got some military listeners. You know, shout out to everyone, you know, out there. You know, hopefully y'all are safe. Hopefully your loved ones are safe.
Situations.
Yes, absolutely. I know 45 acting a straight clown, but, you know, hopefully things don't get too hot. But that's just, everything right now is just kind of crazy. And then it affects us.
It impacts the beautiful game, man.
Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man.
Like, we got callback games. We can't go practice. We can't even practice.
We can't practice.
Can't even go and
practice is canceled.
Usually we're like, yo, it's a snow day, you know. Nah, man.
No, the national.
We're not playing because of international conflicts.
We can't even train in Qatar. Is it Qatar or Qatar?
Qatar, potato, tomato, tomato.
Moving on.
But
they mama call it Qatar, I'm gonna call it Qatar.
I haven't met one of their mamas. Tony, you're more privileged than us.
But
actually,
so yeah.
Don't lose another sponsor. Come on now.
But no, the national team.
That was our sponsor calling right there.
Hold on, player.
All right. We're going to have to cut this one. Sorry, guys. It's been a nice run.
But no, the U.S. national team, they're supposed to be starting their January camp. It's that time of the year. They're supposed to be doing their training in Qatar for some odd reason. But because of everything going on over in Iran, it was like, okay, that's a little too hot for us to go right now. So they ended up saying, can't do that trip. Which was actually pretty unfortunate because we're supposed to meet up with our homeboy Jesse Marshall's team, RB Salzburg, and train with them. And instead, we're going to Florida. Of course, here's my thing about that. You're using your January roster to go to Qatar, and I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
because for those of you who are already familiar, usually the January camp is like at best a B squad roster. So a lot of these guys, see, there you go. A lot of these guys you may not see come World Cup time, if we even qualify, which is another thing. I'm like, why are we going there? We don't even know if we're going to qualify yet. Like, how does that even work?
Well, we're going because it's warm.
Florida's warm. We could do.
Yeah, it rains in Florida.
That is true too. It rains in Atlanta.
I mean, but at the end of the day, it's giving an opportunity for players to get a chance to get looked at and everything, and that's the long game, of course.
And then your boy is finally back. I I know why we were going to go to Qatar. Qatar was like, hey, we will give you $5 million just to call back up Bill Ahmed.
Hey, man. Hey, the stats don't lie, man. Put that man between the sticks. That man said, I'm the best. I'm best. Who the top 5 goalkeepers alive?
Hamid.
Because I block shots, man.
Oh, let's go.
But no, it's
coming to a sticker near you.
You know, for everything that we've been talking about with the national team over the past year, you know, all their missteps, like it makes no sense to send a team that probably at least 60% of it won't even see the World Cup final roster. You're just saying, hey, we're just going to go to Qatar for the check. And, I mean...
So looking at this list, I know for myself, like you had indicated, I was happy to see Bill Ahmed get up there. And Sean John, of course, repping the A between the sticks. But who else on this list is someone that you were like, yeah, I'd like to see them get some PT?
I'm just happy Will Trapp in there. Happy, man.
So it doesn't matter who's not there.
I mean, I'll take that.
Tyler Adams, is he on there?
No,
But he's finally back.
He's back into play, though.
He's back playing, though.
Okay.
Before the winter break started in Germany, Tyler Adams made his return to RB Leipzig. And
how long has it been? Has it been 4 years?
It's
been almost a year.
It was like a good 7 months. Because he got hurt before the Gold Cup, and pretty much everything's just been starts and stops there. But they put him right back in the starting lineup. He did his thing there. I think that with the winter break now here for Germany, he'll have time to of course train, get reacclimated, and hopefully going to the rest of the season he'll finally be healthy. Of course, once he got healthy, McKinney went down. I'm like, can we just get everyone?
We can't get all the brothers together
at the same time. Please.
No, it's a conspiracy, man. There's a conspiracy about that.
That just blows my mind. But yeah, of course, the January camp leads to we have one friendly out in Carson, Cali, for I guess Costa Rica on the 1st of February, and of course, it is kind of like that. It is kind of like that because I guess what are you guys' expectations for this year? Are you just hoping that we actually look somewhat consistent? What's the deal?
Go ahead, TK. You go ahead. I'm reserved.
I'm gonna get to you in a second.
I don't really know what you would mean by consistent because there's been just a lack of that from the jump. But
I would say at least the play would be consistent because it was of course so up and down for most of last year. I was actually talking about this on the socials this past weekend. The only time we really had any consistent play was during the Gold Cup, and that's because you had the same roster to go back to throughout the entire tournament. Outside of that, it was okay, this guy's out, so you gotta adjust around that. Of course, that's one of the reasons why I think so many people were frustrated with Berhalter's because it's you're trying to shove this one style of play when you don't have the talent to do it, and because people are missing, and it's you have to have some flexibility. I was watching something the other day, and it really stuck out to me as far as how it applies to the U.S. You can't be a slave to your plan. You can't just be so dogmatic and say, okay, I'm not gonna adjust no matter what. And hopefully that's something that over the offseason Berhalter said, you know what, I'm a adjust, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna breathe, and hopefully the results will come at least to where we're at least getting somewhat. At least we're progressing because I don't think that we really progressed a whole lot last year, even with what happened with the Gold Cup.
I mean, I guess for myself, what I would look forward to this year, 2020, for U.S. men's national team.
The women are good. We'll see you in Tokyo.
Well, for the men's national team, I definitely, injuries obviously have impacted a lot of this. Mm-hmm. We just alluded to the fact that, Tyler coming back, but now Weston's done. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if everybody was healthy, and we had some camps where we can get that core group of talent guys, Tyler Adams, Pulisic, McKinney, what's his name? Costa. Yeah, Costa.
Yeah. I mean, he never forgotten person because he's I think once he got traded to Colorado, it was okay.
He was lost in no man's land.
Yeah.
But I think that group of young talent that we have, if they could get some type of chemistry and use their talents to, the counterattack was great for them, I think, as far as things that they're able to do. Mm-hmm. And I think, you talk about slave to systems. Well, it's one of those things you still have to find something you're good at, and we haven't done that.
Yeah.
And so I think as far as the counterattack system, they need to perfect that, but they don't have the personnel again to do that.
I think they do. It's just that I don't think that Berhalter's really trying to rely on that. Kind of the same way that our boy Klinsmann, who actually was in the news just a little while ago earlier today, he wasn't trying to rely on counterattacks to score goals. And I'm like, you still want to be able to have that to your advantage to where, if you have speed and you have some type of technical talent, use that to your advantage.
My thing is your opponents are preparing for that.
True.
And so why not, test them on
They
that?
can prepare for it, but can they actually, do anything to stop it?
That's my whole point. That's what I'm saying. So if they're going to, plan it and strategize over that, why not put them to test on that? And so that's my thing is, ideally what I would hope for 2020 is that we can get some type of, and when you talk about the consistency, to have some type of identity of what we are known for.
Right.
And the big thing, like, we're definitely not on this level, but like when Brazil was going through all their coaching situations and they were like, we're trying to find someone to give us that Brazilian way, to have that.
Whatever that was, I just know
that Jogo Bonita.
That whatever Dunga was doing, that was not it.
Right. So, but, all the fans were like, yo, we need to get back to the Jogo Bonita way. We need to find out what everybody knows Brazil for is the flair, taking people one-on-one, playing with style and pizzazz, and juking everybody at the same time, dancing on your ass. We're definitely not that. But we will find some way to be America fuck yeah type of way. And what that is yet, we don't know. So you are right in a sense of we need some consistency, but we need a way of figuring out we got to have some healthy players because we don't have the depth of other national teams. We have to have, if we have a full healthy roster, then we can have the sense of, okay, what is our identity of our team play?
And another thing that goes to, building up that identity is, of course, having a strong youth system. And up until, I think about 2:30 on Tuesday, we had absolutely zero youth national team coaches up in
3-4 teams. What was it?
Yeah.
20s, 17s.
15s, like pretty much it was completely
the whole,
completely gone because Jason Christ left, Raphael Wicke. Actually, now here's the funny part about that.
Wait, I'm working as a parallel with America. 45 hasn't filled out all his
he really hasn't
positions.
He really hasn't.
maybe 45 is running things with the U.S. men's national team.
Man,
you never know. The ultimate troll.
Yo, think about that shit. Yo, for real. Like,
all right, Hotep.
I am the Senate.
but no, because they just hired the coach from Colorado Rapids. Actually, he got fired last year, Hudson. And mind you, I think he almost finished dead last back in 2018. He got fired midway last year for and it's crazy to think that we're at such a deficit right now that we just need a live body to take a job. Because for those of you who hadn't heard, it came out a few weeks back that apparently what they're trying to do now at U.S. Soccer is have what's called the Chicago policy, basically to where all their coaches need to be living in Chicago, which is very ironic considering that Raphael Wicke, the U17 head coach, took the job in Chicago. So apparently he was willing to live in New York and in Chicago, but he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna take this club job." So I think it goes even deeper as far as what type of philosophical issues are going on within U.S. Soccer, to where nobody is willing to take that job because they're like, "Hey, I don't need to live in Chicago to do this job. Like, fuck, I'm gonna live through. I'm gonna go live in Hoth in February. Hell no."
There's so much dysfunction that's going on with that, and it's I want to see Ernie Stewart do well.
I do.
I want to see him do well. He's a brother.
Yeah.
And
the asterisk. Shout out to Ringo.
I'm not judging anybody on that, but at the end of the day, you want to see him do well,
right?
But there's a lot of things that he's pulling the strings on that just
it's not adding up,
right? And who's to say that he might not be the one really pulling the strings? He might be heavily being pushed by.
He might be,
the puppet.
He might be Snoke. He might be Snoke.
Mm-hmm. Might be the puppet.
He might. See, I just saw it, man. I just saw it.
But no, like I said, our boy Jurgen came out earlier today talking about basically the team is sad and it's lacking leadership. And for the most, I actually agree with him because I think that when you go through such an overhaul with your roster, it's like you're trying to figure out who's going to be your leader.
Who's Jurgen?
Klinsmann.
Okay, just for the listener.
Jurgen.
So Jurgen Klinsmann used to coach the U.S. men's national team.
Yes,
he was.
What year was that, man?
2011 to 2016.
Oh, okay.
and the thing about Jurgen too, for those who don't know, he was a German international team player and legend,
World Cup winner.
Yeah, and coached Germany's national team as well too, and then comes over here to the United States. And to be honest, his run ended on a bad spell, and a lot of people were happy to see him go.
I have a lot of thoughts on that, but go ahead.
No, my opinion though, I appreciate Jurgen.
Yeah.
The reason why I appreciate Jurgen is because he came in and wanted to change how shit was done for the U.S. Because as you know, previous people we've had on the show before, and I've agreed with them that the way things have been done, especially under Bruce Arena's reign, I've never been a big fan of. Never. Right. And if I see him next week too, I'll tell him to his face.
Get an interview first. So you suck. Thanks for coming on the show.
Never been a fan of his because I think he is at the core of a lot of things that are handicapping our whole soccer program in this nation.
The weird thing about that is that whenever you read some of his interviews, it's like he knows, but he's like, I don't feel like it's like
it's his comfort zone.
It's like I don't feel like changing things.
His comfort zone.
Like I know it's Jack, but
find somebody else. His comfort zone. He's been doing shit the same way since the late '80s, early '90s.
It's wild. Like when you actually read his interviews, it's like because you can tell that he knows. It's just like I don't feel like it. Go ahead. So somebody else go do it.
What I appreciate about Jurgen is he came in. First of all, he recognized that we needed some color on the squad. And I'm not even just talking about black. He was like, "Yo, we gotta go to the Latino community and hook and find some
the best of the best."
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to comb.
Exactly, and that's what I appreciate about Jurgen. Now, identity and tactics and strategy and stuff like that might not have always been the best selections and everything. And player selection might not have been the best at times.
The one that always stands out,
but his big picture. Yeah. I've appreciated it. And he had a plan for changing things in the U.S. And my fear is that for the ones that were hired to run U.S. soccer as a whole, and from coaches that are selected now, and Ernie Stewart, director, and all that stuff, or whatever, my fear is that we're going backwards with that shit.
I think that what happened was they saw what he was trying to do, and like a certain President of the United States.
You mean the one who's running U.S. soccer?
Close enough. You have someone who's trying to undo what was done during the last term.
Absolutely, yep.
And it's unfortunate.
That's a good parallel.
Yeah, man. It's good brain.
Every now and then it works for you.
But no, I think. See, there you go. But no, I think that you have one. You found out that people don't like too much change. You're like, no, let's keep things the way they are because it keeps everybody paid and everything. And it's frustrating because you have a growing fan base and even general fan base that's becoming more intelligent to what's going on in world soccer, not just American soccer. And they're looking at things like, what the fuck is going on? And I think they're trying. MLS and U.S. soccer, they're trying to hang on to the power that they have and say, hey, we ain't got to tell y'all nothing. We're just going to go ahead and just do what we do. And I'm like, that's not the way that things should be moving. That's not the direction y'all should be going as far as, especially if you actually even care to improve. It's like, because it comes off like, yeah, as long as we get paid, y'all take whatever we give you. And that's a really unfortunate perspective to have. But yeah, I think as far as the lack of leadership, like I was saying, like you have the old generation that's gone. Beasley, Donovan, Dempsey, Jones, like all those guys are gone.
Beasley's gone. Like
finally.
That's weird to say now.
But the thing is, it's like you make the comment. It's a great segue for the generation of players that are now gone. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's like old money, if you will. Like even in the business that I work in now, it's like that's what is kind of running the show. So you're not going to see an actual effective change that's going to convey to what you're looking at on the field until, my honest opinion, 20 to 30 years is what we're.
That's your calculation.
Seriously. I mean, maybe
so a generation has
maybe
fully
15
died,
and then you have to have the next generation pick up on the principles or either create new ones and then establish that as like
you have
the
to hire
norm.
a certain percentage enough to make that change.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
one of the biggest things from this past decade that I think that is going to be one of the biggest failures, looking ahead, is that you really had I want to say a good generation and a half that were just lost. Like the injuries just not panning out. And that's why you have what we have right here, where there's no leadership, because most of the guys that we're looking to now, they're like at the oldest 25, maybe. Most of them are like 22, 21, something like that. And that's, for a lot of guys, you don't know if you're that leader yet at that point in your career or in your life. And whereas like those guys that are right now playing in their 27, 28, that should be, in that firm leadership positions, like where are those guys? It's like, I want to say out of who we called up last year, I think Brooks might have been one of the oldest guys that we called up last year. Maybe Miazga. But a lot of guys, like there's a very big gap between the vets and the core of the team. Like,
who's a great...
That's why you end up having to call back of Guzan, because it was like, we had no vets.
But who's right there in the middle of that sweet spot? Who's
Yedlin.
perfect?
Yedlin.
No. Bill Hamid. 29 years old.
That's true.
Because he's, what?
Yeah.
Top 5.
Top 5 alive.
All 5. But speaking of leadership and direction and having no direction.
Right.
Lenny United, dude. I got to talk about this, man.
You want to go in that run?
I mean, we're going to call, because I know what we have on our rundown as far as...
Segue from the lack of U.S. men's national team players represented from
Which,
the good old way.
Well, of course, we mentioned a few months back how Berhalter messed up Miles Robinson. Now, to be fair, we got Champions League to deal with, so none of our guys got caught up, because even Barco, he was supposed to get caught up by the Argentina U23s, and the board was like, nah, we got Champions League. So it's not just because Berhalter fucked up our guy, it's because we got Champions League. That's the priority right now. And that's perfectly fair, it's happened a couple times before. So, but yeah,
I think on our rundown we were going to talk about, transfer rumors going on and everything, especially January is for those who don't know, January is the transfer window within, Euro soccer. And it's where you might see some big names. If there's some teams that are froggy enough to pull it off, you might see some big names.
You see a lot of Man United players get rumored over here, man. Like, it's kind of funny when you think about it. It
is kind of funny. But, there's some rumors and some names that are floating around of, who's coming to the MLS now. And the one that we talked about today earlier, offset, was Luka Modric. There's a chance that he might come to the MLS, which is, a former
Spursy.
He's a former
Spurs
Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah.
And
pretty much won it all at Madrid.
But he's at the age of he's 34?
34, that's correct.
34 years old. So it's still that like
how much do you really have left in the tank?
Honestly, though, I think for the way that we play football here, I think he's going to be like, everyone's going to look at him like Prelo, but he's going to perform like Silva, or maybe not Silva because he's an engine, but who's another great player that came over and just like kind of dominated
Pirlo was a perfect one.
It should have been
Pirlo
like,
got ran ragged though.
Yeah.
Where he was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been like Lampard's stint at NYFC.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I can see that.
Like where he should have been actually pulling the strings.
I see what you're saying.
But that didn't really work out. But I think Modric, I think he brings that to a team like Atlanta. I think we're dynamic enough, quote unquote.
I was slightly surprised that we got mentioned as far as one of the teams.
Why were you surprised? Is it because there's been a lack of anything coming from us as far as movement?
There's that. But then of course, for the most part, most of our transfer targets have been younger, a lot younger.
Of course. Yeah.
And so for us to go with the older route, of course, granted, Modric's a world-class player, but at the same time, we've kind of made our bread and butter going after young, so-called untapped talent and prospects. So to go old is a bit of a surprise, but again, everything that's happened this offseason has been a huge surprise for a lot of home team fans. So ain't no telling which way we're going to go. Like we were looking at a couple of guys from Cerro Porteño, that's Miguel Almiron's home club down in Paraguay, and like we went after one guy, now we're going after somebody else. We're like the Arzamendia and Villasanti. It's like everything right now looks so unstable, and for the first time, people are looking at the home team and like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I think it's because of the first 3 years, like, you know, we were knocking out the park as far as movies. We made some great come-ups. Mm-hmm. We did some, like, silent assassin type of shit, and we did some moves that we were like, huh. Everybody was like, okay, I see what y'all are doing there. And even with Miggy going, we were still like, okay, they still doing it.
Got this.
Now we're looked at like, yo, you letting them leave, you letting them go. Oh my gosh!
You thinking about letting this guy go?
Like this person's gone, you haven't re-signed this person yet. Oh, you going to sign a backup keeper? Like I mean, like these are the priorities, and there's other things where it has fans scratching their heads. And obviously, we're not in that room. We're not in the room where it happens. Shout out Aaron Burr. But. It definitely has me wondering, like, what are we doing? And in fact, I really got to ask that question because obviously, you know, a Wolverine was dropped.
Yeah.
My boy Justin Merriam gave the deuces. He gave the official IG deuces and was like, look here, thank you, Atlanta. I had a great time. It was short, but I love y'all.
Yeah. And that was a strange thing because, of course, when the team first made their roster moves after the end of the season, of course, the initial announcement was like, okay, he's released, but we're trying to resign him.
Right.
And I guess we weren't able to come to terms. He was like, okay, hey, I guess it is what it is. But
maybe he's even looking at them like, what the hell y'all doing?
But you know what,
he
though?
might be thinking that, like,
what was his salary?
It was actually quite a bit. It was like, I want to say like 700.
I thought he was on a pretty high salary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they were trying to work things out to where maybe he'd do like a small cut. But
remember, his PT was kind of
exactly
dwindling towards the end of the season, and so.
So I understand, the cut to an extent, but at the same time, if you're talking about, 100,000, 200,000 cut, it's like that's cold hard cash, man. Like you ain't trying to lose all that.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight cash.
But no, I think that actually for the first time, like because we've never had to have so many. We never had to replace so many guys all at one time.
Gosh.
And so that's where it's like you have so much uncertainty as far as what direction we're going to go.
I can understand if our twos were like wrecking shop in the U.S.
But you know what though?
Yeah, bro, we had to let him go. I'm sorry.
but you know what though? Like
600.
That's always the strange thing about of course, for a lot of people who don't know, most MLS teams now have a 2 club in USL Championship or at least USL League One, and it's like some of them are playing to compete, but at the same time, some of them are just saying we're just playing to develop. And we've had our fair share of guys that have been able to move up to the first team, and now it's like depending on how long this CBA thing goes, because you got less than a month before that expires, and of course the transfer window in Europe only goes to the end of the month, so it's like okay, if this isn't resolved by the end of the month, you're cutting yourself off from one part of the world.
I figured it out.
What you got?
Since we're a American team, and we're going to do it the American way. We're relying on draft picks. That's what next week is the draft.
This week's
draft. It's next week.
Next week.
That's what we're doing. I figured that's what we're doing. We're going to build our team from the draft, right?
I mean, we kind of did bring one guy up from our training team.
I know you're talking about
what
Fernando?
Yes,
Luis Fernando.
Yes.
So we're gonna be watching you, number 31.
What does Mama call him?
What's that?
What does Mama call him? That ain't his
name. Luis. He from St. Paulo. He probably got 2 more names that they didn't write down.
He got about 20 more names.
really seen him.
From the Richmond Kickers, spent a little time up there.
He's like, snap.
Okay.
He's a kicker.
Okay, all right.
He gonna be part of Henny Darby. Okay. But that has been my thing that has been. It's fun because usually I've been spoiled the last 3 years where I'm like, oh, we good. We're gonna take care of business. And at the end of the day, business is not closed, but it's definitely making it a little bit more anxious right now.
Right. Exactly.
And if we're going to have some fresh-ass kits coming through, I want to be able to wear it with pride.
I'm not going to say, but a birdie in the wall said like they've already seen the kits. They kind of flame.
Oh, I bet. I mean, I'm just saying, so...
Bring Modric. That's all I'm saying. I'll tell you, he would do more than just put results on the field. We'd be selling every fucking kit. Oh my God, bro!
I had that
the kit money out the door.
I had that debate earlier today because kind of like how we were talking about Cavani a couple weeks back. He was never like the marquee guy with PSG. Like he was one of them, but not like the top guy. You go to Madrid, and even with him winning the Ballon d'Or last year, it was like, was he ever really like that guy? Of course, you have Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale, Sergio Ramos, Iker Casillas. Like maybe at best, he was maybe like the fifth or sixth biggest name there.
Maybe.
He'll sell some. I don't think I wouldn't even like put him like with Rooney.
But this is Real Madrid, though. This is where the cesspool of where the top talent goes to live. So, given that you're saying he's a top 5 in the cesspool of where talent goes to die, I think that's still a pretty good shout. So if he comes to ATL. Or doesn't come to the ATL. Rather, look at how much he would inflict on us.
Because DC was like the first team that came out said that they were looking at him. And I was like...
That cannot happen. We cannot allow DC... I mean, he would actually be dynamic with them. Think about it. It's like watching the side go that first year. You're like, damn, that might work out.
Well, you remember, he's coming back there this year. So,
well, yeah, he's still unsigned, I think.
No. They signed him last year, but he couldn't come back until... like January, so he's there with them now.
Okay.
So that's...
Speaking of one of our former players.
That's some luck.
Miggy got another goal.
Yes, he did.
He got another goal.
And that all-orange kit. That all-orange kit.
All orange.
Love it.
Orange.
Love it.
It wasn't peach?
Nah, that was orange. That shit is orange. That ain't peach. That is orange.
But you got to see when that snow up there, man.
But no, man.
Let's go to another crazy color.
But no, what?
Pink.
You mean like flamingo pink?
Can we save that one for after the break? Because I do want to hit one thing, because you mentioned it a little while ago, the SuperDraft. Well, actually, the MLS SuperDraft actually takes place during the coaches convention. This year's being held up in Baltimore. Our main man, Coach Tony, is going to go up there. Tell us about what goes on at the coaches convention.
So the coaches convention is put on by United Soccer Coaches Convention, United Soccer Coaches. And which is formerly used to be known as NSCAA, which National Soccer Coaches American Alliance.
So many acronyms.
Yeah, you see why they changed it.
Yeah.
And so it's actually, I think it's marketed as the largest coaches convention in the world.
And it's not in Vegas? Dude, Vegas is missing some money. That's all I'm saying. It's not y'all. It's Vegas.
But you're getting coaches coming from literally all over the world, and you're having clinics, you're having coaching diplomas, you're having the exhibit hall. First of all, the exhibit hall is like crazy, where you're seeing literally all these soccer companies of any and everything that you can think of is selling something. So they all got their booth, of course, and it's huge. So you have that aspect. But the reason why I am going is because I'm representing, Soccer in the Streets, and we are a part of a documentary that's known as Soccer in the City, which is talking about the whole pay-for-play system in America and how nonprofits are attacking that issue. And so they're showing the documentary, and I'll be on a guest panelist with the legendary Lincoln Phillips, who coached Howard University to a national championship. So I'll be going there for that part, which is actually like a dream come true for me because he is one of my heroes. But also, it's obviously a big networking thing. It's a big educational thing. And then also our homegirl, Nicole Hercules, she is taking over as president of the Black Soccer Coaches Advocacy Group. And so the reins are going to be handed over to her during this convention. And during this convention, this is actually like where real shit gets done. You have the SuperDraft that takes place. You have all these awards that are given out. So like Lincoln Phillips, he is also getting like a Lifetime Achievement Award during this event. And so you're also having coaches from, Serie A, from Premier League, where they're actually leading, strategic lessons for coaches to take notes on. And then, of course, you can...
How to not be racist. Fail.
Actually, they might need to do a lesson on that next year.
Yeah, might just bring it up. Could be you.
I might need to do a lesson on that next convention.
Man,
but the convention usually happens between Baltimore, Philly, Chicago. Last year was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And where else? I feel like I'm missing one more city. Kansas City, because United Soccer Coaches is based in Kansas City.
Oh, that's where the
headquarters is.
Yeah.
And so they bounce around from all those different cities or whatever. And so it's going to be thousands and thousands of coaches from literally all over the world. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be intense. I'll also be working on my director of coaching certificate as well too. So not only am I there for the panel part, but also to learn more on my craft. And it's going to be a cool experience. Hopefully, I'll come back with some treats for our listeners. And maybe we'll get some dynamite interviews, some dynamite drop-ins. Who knows? And maybe I'll have some extra toys.
Maybe your boy DK will get drafted number 1.
Maybe. Hey, yo, dude.
Hey, could you advocate for guys who have a size foot 14?
No. It's a lost cause.
Just mention that to one of the boots guys and be like, hey, man.
Dude, it was funny.
Y'all got size 14?
When I went there a while ago to the coaches convention, there was like this one brand where literally their whole focus is making what you call short tights, like tight shorts for girls to help prevent ACL tears. And like that's their whole niche. So like that's what I'm saying, like you can get as
it's pretty niche.
Exactly.
Pretty niche.
Which is a big issue, obviously.
Sure. That's a huge injury.
But to be able to make a tight that helps prevent ACL tears. So, I mean, it's a crazy thing. For me, it is like a kid in a candy shop type of thing. And also you will see like famous people just walking around. And you're like, oh my gosh, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm actually
it's Alexei.
Stop.
Finally.
But yes, but stop.
But no, I'm actually I was trying to get it up there, but I'm actually starting a new job this week, so I can't do much of that right now.
Calvin got a job.
Basically.
Calvin got a job.
But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got wired up there. We're going to take a quick break, pay a bill. Yes, we will get to these pink and white kits from Miami. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Oh, we're back. Get a little hot up in here, man. Yo, Tony.
Hey man, cut this shit, man. Cut. TK, cut.
TK.
Faders down.
Yo.
What's up?
How'd your boys do last week, man? It's bowl season, man. Like, I know Michigan did make a bowl game, right? Did everything go well with y'all? I mean, y'all did get the better, so we led at halftime.
Greg slowly undresses his jacket.
And TK, I do not need the narration. Okay, I do not need that.
But you know who did win? Who handled their business in Miami? The Gators did, man.
We're a basketball school.
I don't know, man.
Although we did lose to UGA.
Exactly. I was like, you sure you want to take that one?
UGA, seriously? Dominique don't even play for them, man. UGA, seriously? UGA basketball ain't been good since Dominique,
yeah. Like, were they ever good?
Damn.
But
he's still a top 20 team.
Y'all about this close against Alabama. So, you know what? Y'all wouldn't have time to say, hey,
Dude,
we winning.
No, like, I'm going to be real and funky. Like, I knew going into the season, I thought we were overrated. And then...
You say this now.
I say that shit at the beginning, man. I keep it funky, man. Like, seriously, we were overrated to go into the season. I think a lot of it's because we are a top 10 school just in general. But then also, God, I'm saying we. Like, I went there. Anyway, yeah, I know, that's bad. Yeah, I know. Anyway, but I
don't know what you guys are even talking about.
Michigan, man.
Michigan. Okay, cool.
Michigan
and Florida. Who I feel like they have a decent basketball team, but Michigan also has a what's March Madness look like for y'all?
Never know.
It's going to get live.
I mean,
it's going to get live.
I can tell you as far as Florida goes, I'm not expecting too much because we have coaches that's.
I feel like your women's team is better than your men's team for basketball. This is my mama. I'd be like, oh, I'm watching basketball.
His mama don't lie.
You know, that's the only reason she got that 50-inch. I can watch my games. I can watch all my games.
So, but speaking of Florida, and speaking of Miami, the Twitter was very busy for us last week, right? Because word came out, about the Inter Miami kits that are set to come out. Yeah, well, first off, for everyone that's been hoping for a pink kit, it ain't happening. They doing
not this season. It's going to happen.
You would hope. You would hope.
They'll be stupid not to have a pink kit.
It's absolutely an Adidas color. Like, they have a particular shade of pink.
Like,
yeah.
I would run up
Leicester
into Adidas and I'm like, look here, I'm a Nike fan, but if y'all want to make some money...
Do this. Just do this. Move this guy here.
Who's ever making this decision, fire his ass. Or her ass.
It's funny to mention that because that's exactly what I put up on the socials. Like, because, of course, we've been advocating against this white kit movement with MLS for the past year now. Because I think well over half of the teams right now have a white kit in their rotation between either their home kit or their away kit. The ones who don't have black, and in Miami's case, they have a white and a black kit, and it's like, there's a lot of issues there, and of course, like I said on Twitter, it's one, you're not allowing a team who is basically Beckham's baby to have any real signature look. Now they have like the little heron prints all over the kits and everything, which if you squint your eyes, it looks a lot like Fort Madison's goalkeeper kit with the flamingos printed all over. I'm just like, it'd be one thing if Ford didn't just come out with that just a couple months ago, but I'm like, where is the originality? Where is just the thought process that, hey, let's make sure that a kit coming from one of our feature marquee endorsers is some standout Real Madrid level type shit. And they said, nah, we good. Now, one thing I will say is that one way they could kind of save on this is that they have some pink shorts. That'd be kind of dope.
That's half-assing though, dude.
The whole effort in general was half-assed.
Or you do some pink, you do a training kit, or
I think
all
they
pink.
I think they will have a pink training, I think.
Or, the training jacket or whatever.
I know our boy, Mayor Kane, he's down there right now. I almost bit the bullet up and had him go get one of the fitted. Something like.
Yeah. So speaking of which, let me. I was going to chime in on this. Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all about y'all boy Grego. Y'all know every time on the show he's talking about the home team this and our team this and
The
it's
coaches everywhere.
The coaches everywhere. Yeah. See how he throws that in now. Let me tell y'all what. Culture, let me tell y'all what he did. On our own little specific private group chat, the Mayor Kane's going to share like some fitted hats that he saw of Inter Miami down in Florida or whatever. And Grego comments like, yo, can you cop one of those for me?
That's a trip, man.
It don't mean you got to buy it.
Real recognize real, but I ain't giving them shit.
Do you know how many times I've seen other schools with dope shit and I'm like,
Yeah, but as long as it's Italian, I consider it.
No. See, no. See, like, okay, for example, speaking of which, Inter
Yeah, because Inter Milan
actually has the dope third kit.
Yeah.
That black jersey drips hard.
They have a dope home kit and a dope third kit. And I was like, because I was chatting about this with the guys from the Cooligans, and we were like,
oh, you see how he tried to drop that in? Like, you dropped something, dude.
Yeah. But no, like right, of course, with all the bullshit they got going on right now, it's like, it's just hard to really justify buying anything representing
the kid's so dope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, my ultimate team on FIFA is wearing it.
Because, like,
because
AC Milan came out with like a anniversary kit a couple weeks ago. Of course, that shit was like $200. I was like, yeah, I can't go that much right now. But it looked like
sorry, bad enough shoes cost $200. I ain't buying no damn kit that I'm gonna wear once every 2 weeks. $200. I got kids.
Like at least with the home team jerseys, when we go to games, at least I know I'm getting my money's worth out of those. But like all the other jerseys that I got, I'm like, I might wear some.
How you gonna go to games when we ain't got no team to play?
That's true.
Damn, my bad.
That's true.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my Nigeria jersey, man. I got one of them, original from the World Cup, like a legit Nigeria jersey.
Hard.
Never wore it once, bro. Still in the bag.
Seriously,
still in the bag.
I thought you had one with the missus.
I do, but that's
the only time you wore it.
That's my play one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. He got his school outfit. And he got his place.
It's still in the bag. The play one on the on the hanger, man.
But no, like,
is it personalized?
Starboy.
Oh, now that Starboy one.
It's a Starboy.
Oh.
The lady wasn't too happy, but
Oh man,
it's what it is.
I'm gonna have to shake you on that one.
If you can get into Max Line, I'll let you rock it. Because the Nigerians one, it's not true to size, as they say.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
but is it Euro fit?
Like, yeah, it's definitely Euro fit. It's, I don't know, might be.
Oh, that's me. Then.
It might be
that's
Nigerian fit, really.
I will say, just circling back over to the Inter Miami kits. I say, of course, for all you down there, Southern Legion, White City, Siege. Holler at us, eFTCUTD.myshopify.com. I cannot wait to get some things that's done.
Look.
Oh, I'm gonna lace the fuck out of those kids.
Look,
that's doing it again. You're doing it again, Grego.
I want the whole league,
Bro,
MLS,
showing.
USL.
Grego, you're showing, man.
Lisa.
Cover it up, man.
We got business to handle, man.
Cover it up, man.
We got business to promote. Yes, I want. Yes. We showed, like, I did some mock-ups over the weekend, like, yeah.
So you have already crowned them?
No. They don't have the best kits. That's no.
It sounds like you already crowned.
But at the same time...
Who is this Grego talking? That guy was texting me earlier all week, as a matter of fact. Didn't say none about this. No, not a thing.
But
that's what happens when the red stripe starts talking.
It must be.
But at the same time...
Jamaican.
That black and pink... But at the same time... I got some work for that black and pink. I can make that one work. And
you couldn't do black and gold for LA?
I want to. I want to bad. And then Nashville too.
Black and red and gold goes perfect with everything.
Yeah, I know some hermanos who bang for that.
You know what I'm saying?
But
he don't get excited about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No,
he's like, yeah, here you go.
What, the white and gold? Like I said,
I need that, man. We need that drip for the flag, bro. Come on.
Y'all gonna see it pretty soon.
CCL starts soon. But no, we're going to Birmingham soon.
Shout out to the Nashville supporters. I was talking to a few Nashville supporters earlier the day before we started recording. I said, I know they just came out. Their kits are coming out on the 18th.
That's just gonna be boring as hell.
I just hope they don't do it.
It's gonna be boring. I'm sorry. You got a boring logo. You got the most safe colors.
CrossFit logo. No, here's what I'm hoping that
Columbia's kiss though. Here's
what I'm hoping that they avoid. I'm hoping that they avoid a yellow jersey and a white jersey. I'm like, they're both bright.
Good. They're gonna fuck it up.
Thanks, Adidas. But yeah, man. Oh, but speaking of kit deals,
you stole my segue.
I could do that.
Stole my segue.
It finally happened. Liverpool announced their deal with Nike. I feel like I'm in bizarre world,
dude. Everything is backwards now.
United
is Adidas, and we suck. Liverpool is Nike, and they're great.
Yeah.
God, I never thought I would say that statement.
We got smoked by City.
I'm taking another shot
in the League Cup. Of course,
I'm taking a shot. Times is hard. 2020, you suck.
But no, I think that I think it's like either the second biggest or the biggest deal in at least in England. I know.
I mean, to be fair though, every kit deal is the biggest kit deal ever.
Arsenal's wasn't.
I mean, well, yeah, that's Arsenal though. They're already in like hella debt.
Arsenal's going to Arsenal.
But yeah, I think every new kit deal is like, except for Spurs and Arsenal, every new kit deal is like the biggest kit deal ever. City, Chelsea. Yeah, well, absolutely. The deal with Yokohama, you're crazy.
No, I'm talking about the Nike deal.
Look it up.
He said, check. Don't be testing his gangster.
Yeah, man, I promise it is. It's like ridiculous. So then they got the Hyundai thing to go along with it. Yeah, totally. But every new kit is who's got the bigger bag? Same deal as MLS. Want a new team? Want a new kit? Come on, who's got the bigger bag?
No, that was not bigger than United's, man. It ain't bigger than United's, man. Because
y'all got Woodward. Ed Woodward, man. That's the only good thing that he does. The only good thing that he does.
Only thing he's good at.
Yeah. Everything else is
and looking dumbfounded when he's in the box. He'll be looking like
he knows. He knows.
But
he makes some good faces in the box, though. Yeah.
Well, of course, there was racism over the weekend, but did it really happen?
Say word.
It's Europe, man.
There was racism
in
Italy. And what?
And Balotelli. I'm like,
what?
Is it like lying. It's like, why always me?
Nah,
it's
bro.
like you're just.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Balotelli.
so here's.
But we're okay, and then that's just like he had it coming. Like
no. We're not saying that. I mean, I say it's Balotelli. He inevitably probably had something coming. Like that guy is the king of egging a motherfucker on, but. On top, he's like the motherfucker at the playground.
But at the same time,
like,
my thing is like, have you seen him? Why the fuck would you egg him? Like, why would you?
The whole his whole story with like being adopted and
bro, I can't wait till his documentary.
Yeah, I need to see like an autobiography on the ASAP. Like, it's got to be a 600-page.
His documentary would be great. Seriously, that like they did the whole Diego Maradona thing. I can't wait for that shit on Balotelli.
But it's happening so often with him over in Italy. It's like, just go ahead, just come over here, man. Just come on, man. Like
he's only 29.
That's the crazy part.
The thing about I feel like he's been around forever.
Because he's been around
but that's the thing.
10 years. That's what we should have did a decade of
Balotelli.
Oh, that would have been cake.
That's always the weird thing, like especially with soccer, because players start so young.
Yep.
And it's like you're not even 30 yet. It's like you've been playing like 13 years.
It's funny to hear people talk about Mbappe and how he's like washed. He's like the motherfucker. He's not even old enough to drive yet. Or at least in the States, he's not old enough.
He can't buy cigarettes no more.
Yeah, he can't get an E.
Right.
He can't vape.
Shit is wild, man. Imagine being able to buy weed in an illegal state and not
be able to
go put it in a blunt.
How ass backwards is our country?
45.
How ass backwards are we?
Thanks, 45.
Everything needs to just go to 21. I'm of the sentiment of that.
21.
Yeah, I mean, like the legal age to get into the military, I think should be 21 as well.
I agree.
You can get your legs blown up, but you can't go buy a cigarette.
Yeah, you getting like I saw a meme. It was like I don't know why it's a meme, but it was like imagine killing your first man. You can't smoke a cigarette. Like,
it's facts.
I mean.
Facts.
I guess. So
it is.
That's some Vietnam shit right there, man.
But yes, Balotelli had an accident. Then going back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago with Rudiger,
yeah,
boy,
Antonio, man.
They were like, this didn't really happen. We didn't interview the guy who was accused of it, but hey, it didn't happen.
Dude, it's just like what's going on with our impeachment process. They just gonna find a way to say, "No, we didn't happen. It shouldn't happen." No, the shit's rigged. I mean. It's all PR stuff. For everything is a PR level thing.
How many times did they make that announcement? Does anybody remember?
3.
3 times they made that announcement. Unprecedented, I heard from the announcers. Oh, I've never heard them do 3 announcements. It must be a serious incident. It must be a very serious incident. Didn't interview the guy who reported the racist incident. The Spurs fan who reported the racist incident was not fucking interviewed. Not by Spurs, not by the police. Tell me what's going on with Metro. It ain't booming.
It sounds very similar to what's going on with our impeachment process. Someone who was in the room with Trump, Bolton,
There's a bunch of tweets
and we're
on this,
not
right?
going to interview him.
It's-
Interesting.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Believe me, Obama will start a war. It's guaranteed. If he just wants to cover up that, he gets reelected, cover up all his dirt.
The receipts on that shit is uncanny because it's like every time something happens with him, you'll see a tweet going back when Obama was president. And you're like,
Did you see Daily Show last night?
no, I missed it.
Dude, Trevor and them brought the video up where Trump said from his office that Obama will go in and start a war with Iran. Specifically.
Yeah.
In order to
just to get reelected.
And I'm like, yeah, that
That
re-election
was 2011. 2011.
It's uncanny how many it's uncanny
10-year
how many
challenge, bro.
receipts there are. It's absolutely crazy.
Turn your receipts on, folks.
But
Moral of the story. Even your emails, you can do that. There's an option with Gmail. Check it out.
But there was one counter that finally ended it on this week. NYCFC finally has a head coach.
Yeah.
Who they get? Ronnie Delia.
Delia?
I keep thinking it's Delia.
What did Mama call him?
I keep thinking of Delia's chicken sausage here. Shout out to them.
good.
So it's
Shit's
not,
delicious.
we should hold a pod there, man.
Yeah,
Do like a little
seriously.
upstairs.
Shit's delicious.
That's for another time, though. We got something
That
on
shit
that.
is delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll fuck with the chicken.
Nah,
I
fuck
got
with
some in my freezer. You saw it? You came to the house?
Fucks with him, man. Fucks with him.
But no,
Cooking on Saturday.
yes, I'm surprised that it's January and I think we're just not getting to the point where everyone's finally got a manager now. I'm like, maybe, like I said, I worry.
We got a manager, but we ain't got no players. Oh, we got... Fuck it, I forgot. We got
No
Joseph.
philosophy. They
We
don't
got
have
Joseph.
philosophy.
That's all that matters.
Who's the backup for that guy? What if he, I don't know, hurt his
Lagos.
arm again?
Lagos was good.
Hey, man. Who's a famous winger who turned striker?
Henry.
Henry.
Too?
Henry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Henry, he hated the wing. He hated the wing.
Who's that Rashford too, right? No, he's not famous yet.
I mean, he's famous.
In the transition,
like-
the transition, I was saying.
I mean,
Ronaldo,
he's getting
maybe.
there.
Is Greenwood a striker?
Ronaldo is Ronaldo. He don't have no
Sure,
position.
sure.
That's true. Is Greenwood a striker or a winger?
I bet he's
I
a
say he's a
striker.
winger. I say he's a winger.
Because I feel like he was a winger, but I saw during
Everything they have him as a
striker. I was like,
he really plays a winger type role though.
yeah.
But I mean, the winger and striker now, the way everything's done, formation. Like if we get caught up in the semantics of that shit, it doesn't matter. It's whether if you can attack from the side or not. That's really what it really comes down to. But another thing I wanted to kind of highlight, and I guess I don't want to go into 2 up, 2 down already, but the things I've been excited about is that the one thing I've been positive about, Lady Nine is not looking good. U.S. men's national team is not looking good. Manchester United is not looking good. But you know what? My FIFA Ultimate Team is looking good. I'm just saying, like, I got a squad, and just so y'all know, like, we might have to start like a FIFA tournament for the culture.
Yo, I've been thinking about that for a minute.
Come on, man.
And so,
Let's get it. PS4 all day.
we are not doing no damn PS4.
We wait on the PS5.
Semantics.
You know
Culture. Tell us if you're doing PS4 or Xbox.
Yeah, that'll be
That's-
actually, we'll settle it like
once and for all.
that. Yeah,
That's
send a message.
okay, but I got another challenge.
Okay.
If you do FIFA or Pro
Evolution.
Evolution. Oh, I know there's a serious cult following.
The ones who stand for Pro Evolution is real.
Dude, that's serious cult following. And speaking of black and
Guys,
pink,
I will buy you FIFA.
speaking of black and pink, because of that
ridiculous.
Juventus deal on FIFA,
Yeah.
there's no Juventus.
Oh,
they got
yeah.
that fake team,
What is
whatever.
that?
Piemonte Calcio.
Piemonte, whatever.
Yeah,
but they got
that's
the black and pink. Maybe that's what Inter needs to do.
The spot on that is great.
But my FIFA Ultimate Team is looking strong. I have a Wakanda Panther squad, which is all players from the culture,
Yeah, you do.
and I'm pretty proud of it, man. I gotta say that's one of my ups. That's definitely been keeping me going positively in the soccer realm because everything else is sucking right now. Man.
That's what he sucks.
Who is a more depressing situation right now, Man United or the U.S. national team?
U.S. men's national team.
You say U.S. men's national team.
Absolutely. Man United could be changed with a manager fix in literally 3 weeks.
No.
Yes. You bring in a guy who doesn't want to hug all the players. You bring in a guy who has a clear philosophy on like, hey, we're going to get back to the counter-attacking Man United. Now here I am writing the script for you guys. Come on.
You're assisting quite well right now.
It is what it is. When you know, you know.
If you know you roll well too, like if you're a role player.
Giggsy.
I think for myself, I think that Manchester United is more disappointing, and the reason why is because they have already touched the sun. They have been on the mountaintop. They have been a dynasty. And the fact that they're nowhere near that realm, that's more disappointing than U.S. men's national team. U.S. men's national team has never touched any type of major success. Yeah, they've had their Cinderella runs or anything like that, but they never really touched true success. Whereas Manchester United, when you talk about a dynasty that's been going on for decades and they set records, and the fact that they changed the game internationally, business-wise and everything, and that they were the standard, and how everybody would equate Manchester United as like almost as the world's team type of thing. Whereas, like, Dallas Cowboys is known as America's team. Manchester United for a while was known as, like, damn near America's team.
It's true.
I mean, the world's team.
It's true.
And so the fact that they've touched that, and they are nowhere, a fraction, anywhere near that, that is more disappointing than U.S. men's national team. U.S. men's national team is just going to be like, I hope we can do well.
You know what?
Thank you for that lob, TK.
You know it's bad when... Because all this considered, we have not done shit as a national team, and I'm like, we would just be happy just getting back to that, and that's how
getting back to not doing shit.
Yeah, because
God, the bar is low.
Exactly, like that's like it's that's one thing when you look back at it, how jacked up the perspective is. Like, because we'd make it out of the group stage, and we would treat it like it was the biggest thing ever. Of course, you go back to what happened with the Algeria match in 2010, and you're like, I'd kill for that right now. And that was just to get out the group stage. Like we just want to be happy just to qualify right now.
Okay, so how about this? Which one is more embarrassing to wear right now? A U.S. men's national team jersey or a Manchester United jersey?
U.S.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're just going to get flagged on like, I thought it was the women's jerseys. I was totally going to high five you.
Is that where people? Damn. No.
Yeah.
That's led to. How do you say his name? Pull sick.
Pumpcow?
Pull sick.
Oh, see, that's how bad it is. That's just how bad it is.
But also, TK, you brought up a good point, though, as far as what is needed in a manager. And the fact that you allude to that you don't need a manager who's hugging on everybody. I think you do need that for an assistant coach type of thing. You do need a good cop, bad cop type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think at that level, those type of managers need to be the bad cop in a sense. Not to say bad cop in the sense of where they're always mean and negative, but they have to have a level of bad cop in them. And obviously we're not in the locker room. We're not on training days or whatever, but Ole Gunnar doesn't come off as one of those coaches that does that. Whereas Klopp, who is arguably one of my favorite managers out there in the game.
Yeah, at this point in time. Because
not only is he successful, but I think what he is successful at is obviously he is able to connect with his players on a personal level where he is their cheerleader, but at the same time demand the utmost best out of them and push them to their limit, but at the same time do it in a stern way if need be. And I think he's able to manage that in a respectful way for his players, because at the end of the day, when you get to that level, when you have players of that caliber, it is about ego management.
Yep. But here's the crazier point to piggyback on that. I think you could kind of like like even picture it in your head who the assistant manager is for like some of those other teams where you're like, oh yeah, I think you need a good back hop dynamic. I don't really think of that when I imagine Liverpool in my head. I just think of Jurgen, the mean Jurgen.
Because he can do both.
And the pleasant
he
Jurgen.
He can do both.
And I think that's to the bigger effect of the point is that if you... That's the kind of manager you need with a huge personality who's able to, essentially like almost Pep it. And I think he's got the same characteristics. I mean, you had Arteta there, and you knew his face and his hairline.
Super Euro with it though. Like I'm like, dude, stop holding my face like this. I feel like you're going to kiss me. Like,
yeah, no. I think
sometimes where I'm like, Pep.
That's the Spanish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like that's one of those things where like. I've experienced that though with Spanish culture.
No, I know. I've had some.
Do I have to kiss you? Okay.
Like, are we about to make out? Like, you didn't take me out to dinner, bro. So, but no, I definitely agree that it has to be that balance. And I think as far as Man United goes, there's definitely no balance at all.
There hasn't been a balance for a long time.
And none of the managers from, damn, David Moyes. Louis Van Gaal.
Yeah, LVP, right?
Yeah, LVG. Yeah, LVG, and then Giggsy. I mean, like all of them. Moyes, he had no chance.
He really didn't.
He had no chance. And the thing about it is, like, he might have a better chance now, but compared to going to right after Sir Alex left.
I think that's even crazier because now he's back at West Ham.
Yeah.
So that's like a crazier like a reunion tour for this guy.
So can we also talk about that? Like, I mean, like the thing it gets frustrating is that the fact that just like the NFL with obviously with Dallas Cowboys dealing with their vacancy and now they. What's his name from Packers?
How do we replace Des Bryant?
Could that be a 2 down? Because I'm like that actually got on my nerves.
What I was just alluding to is just the fact that like there's obviously this Rooney Rule and stuff like that, and it definitely impacts the Premier League and other leagues as well. Like the Premier League still only has one manager of color.
Mm-hmm. Cough.
So. Nuno, I'm trying to look like Nuno, if y'all haven't recognized him.
Man.
I'm trying to get my beard game like him. Got the grays coming in.
Yeah, no, that's a good look.
I'm trying to get a Nuno look.
You going to get the crown?
If you had told us just a little bit earlier, we could have got you one of the winter parka jackets.
Yo, his jacket, like, it looks like it keeps you warm.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, the winter parkas are not just...
I had it in the lookbook last week. Like the parka is dressed.
I'm going to need it in Baltimore.
I've got a plug on the 2018 parka, if that's okay with you.
For Wolves?
For whatever. You can personalize it. I don't care. I'm just letting you know. If you want a parka that runs down to your ankles, I can get you the 2018 one for a reasonable price.
Okay. But no, that was one of my two downs for this week is because I saw the Cowboys hired their new head coach. I saw the Giants interview. They basically had within basically 2 days, you had a new coach hired. Redskins, same thing. And I'm just like, the Rooney Rule is getting jacked up right now. Because even your boy Stephen A. Smith had to call it out. It's like, it's getting to the point where it's getting abused.
My boy, don't ever say that. I'll smack you. You can talk bad about Michigan, but don't ever say Stephen A. is my boy.
Like, the Rooney Rule is getting abused and taken advantage of, and that's just you can definitely tell that it's like, okay, we already know who we want. We just got to do the formalities, and you're basically ruining the spirit of that rule in the first place. To increase the diversity in the head coaching ranks and hopefully beyond as well. But
how many black coaches are in the NFL currently?
I believe there's 3.
3.
You got Tomlin. You got damn.
Miami has a black coach, and
failed that quiz.
And San Diego.
How many NFL teams do we currently have?
32, yeah.
Almost, almost got that. MLS almost there.
So it's what, 10? 9 and 10?
Basically.
Yeah. And considering the number,
representation, right?
math.
Considering the representation as far as player, Considering the representation as far as player personnel,
Of course.
the actual
I mean,
players,
that's the thing that's disproportionate.
it's like
we know that. Come
it's
on.
crazy. But
But the thing that's beautiful, what's happening, what we're witnessing right now, and I had retweeted. I usually don't go on Twitter, but I just was on it for like a good half hour the other day, and I retweeted the Wale thing that he had tweeted, which was, if you have Wale's new album, his first track is called "Sue Me," because his whole thing is "Sue Me." I'm cheering. I'm going for anybody who's black, and so with that song was the highlight and footage of black quarterbacks in the NFL over the time. And so it started with Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, and then it started going on to like the black quarterbacks right now that are in the playoffs with, what's called
championships.
I mean, like,
or these division championships.
but I mean, it's beautiful to see. Like, I can't wait that it might be a situation where you got two black quarterbacks going at it for a Super Bowl, man.
that's true.
It's gonna be awesome.
You say your boy Deshaun, like Deshaun get that work.
Bruh, that's a Georgia boy too.
Yeah, yeah.
Need to get Winston out the hole, man.
What's your 2 up, 2 down, TK?
I don't know if I've got 2 up, 2 down. I say one of my ups is going to be Tyler Adams. I know he's not been called up to the roster for the U.S. men's team, but anything positive happening with this young man is
playing. That's a super.
Yeah, it's a positive thing for me. So I can't wait to see him, slotted into the U.S. men's national team. And hopefully then we will have something positive, or at least I will be able to contribute more in the positivity category, because right now it's hot shit for them, in my opinion. But outside of that, Tyler Adams all the way. I think that guy's going to be the savior for our midfield. Moving on, one of my downs is going to be Spurs. I just feel like we live in a day and age where they spent millions and millions of pounds on this state-of-the-art stadium. And if it's the state-of-the-art stadium that they make it out to be, with fucking heater panels underneath the pitch that slide out and can do all sorts of crazy things, maintain the temperature for, like 24 hours, 48 hours plus, whatever the case may be. All these crazy stats about the stadium. They don't have camera systems and audio systems in there.
Because Mercedes-Benz, they got them cameras.
Yeah, I promise. If you ever walk into Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia,
You immediately watch.
as soon as you walk in the door, you are on camera.
Not even before that. If you're heading into the gate, you are on camera.
There you have it, folks. I've only seen the footage from when you walk into the physical building.
Oh,
Tony's seen just a little bit more. Bro,
as soon as you approach that,
bro, they can pick my nose from where they're sitting at.
Ugh.
The cameras are that good, man.
You
Telling you,
snotty ass.
hey man, he didn't need to pick my nose. Just saying, the option. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Anybody finish that Disney rhyme?
What you got, Coach?
Speaking of Disney, not too down, man. Mandalorian's over. Like, I don't know what to watch now, man. Like, I was all about that. That was my favorite show for right now. And then speaking of shows, another 2 down. Power, man. We still don't know who shot Ghost. I
know what did happen, and that was a long time coming.
We know who didn't shoot him. We know one person who didn't shoot him. I'm not going to...
Like I said, it's a long time coming. That's all I'm going to say.
We know one person who didn't shoot him.
You got some feelings, Greg. Like, he deserved this shit.
Felt it in my chest.
There's another one who definitely deserved that shit. But my other down is at the fact that, man, Power was... I'm sad that I don't know who shot Ghost yet. So still waiting on that, pins and needles. See what happens this Sunday. 2 ups, I guess. We talked about it earlier, but I still got at it. Bill Hamid, man.
Hamid
for 2020, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm on that train.
The comeback's real.
Hamid.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna make that into a sticker, but we will figure something out.
I'm his only supporter group member. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, dude. And then the other thing is that my other up is that we referenced it earlier, is that Lincoln Phillips is getting honored for a lifetime achievement at the United Soccer Conventions, United Soccer Coaches Convention, and definitely happy to see him finally get recognized for the work. If you haven't seen anything or heard anything about Lincoln Phillips, please Google him. There's even a YouTube video about what he did to accomplish at Howard University with winning a national championship as a coach there. But not only has he done success there at the collegiate level, but as far as youth soccer goes, especially in the DMV area, man has done a lot of groundwork in order to make sure that kids of color and kids who don't normally have an opportunity to play the game of soccer, Coach Lincoln Phillips has done incredible groundwork back when it wasn't sexy to be doing this job. And so it's great to see that he's finally being honored for a Lifetime Achievement Award at the United Soccer Coaches Convention. And so hopefully next week we'll be able to get an interview with him or even at least a drop with him. So that's part of my 2 up, 2 down type of thing. But again, sad Mandalorian's done. Can't wait to season 2.
Yeah, it's going to be dope as shit.
Were you surprised when they revealed his face? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Sorry.
I don't have
My
Disney
bad.
Plus.
I figured it would
yet.
have it eventually, though.
Yeah, my bad.
Just a matter of how. But
It's funny though, like for people who watch Narcos, like to see him like as the Mandalorian too is like,
oh wow,
yeah,
oh wow.
Yeah.
But is it Narcos Mexico? Is it Narcos Colombia?
Original Narcos, dude.
Colombia.
Original.
Okay.
Called
1 and 2.
Parceros.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Medellin.
But
Medellin.
my 2 ups. First was Sean Watson winning and Tom Brady losing.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yes, that one's for sure.
You know how they talk about black girl magic? That's black. That's black quarterback magic.
Yeah. And my 2 downs. Actually, no. Another up is Jay Ajayi, former Eagles and Dolphins running back, signed up doing eMLS, doing video games. Now, mind you,
no, yeah, and he's representing who?
Philly.
Yep.
Now, mind you, I completely understand. I'm just old enough to where I totally get competitive gaming, but at the same time, I don't get the idea of watching other people play video games. Because, like, when I was a kid, I used to hate watching my
You're
friends.
missing out, man.
Watching my
missing
friends
out.
play. When I couldn't play, I was like, yo, like, why am I here, man? But
Gregor, you don't currently have a system?
I got a Xbox One.
Xbox One. Copy,
Yeah.
copy.
Xbox One family, baby. Come on.
Sure.
I don't even know what
I don't know the capabilities of that machine.
I lost my gamer tag.
Is it a doorstop? Does it play DVD? Is it
I hate
Blu-ray?
TK.
Apparently, I lost my gamer tag, so I can't. I lost all my experience on FIFA,
Lost
which
the
is killing me.
gamer tag.
I hate TK right now.
But yeah.
I know what my PS3 is good for, so no hate.
But
Is it good for it to hold my Xbox One up?
Sure.
I do
you can
know
use it as
that-
like a bookshelf holder.
I do know when the PS5 comes out, apparently it's going to be backwards compatible all the way to the original PlayStation. So
That new sexy logo.
Yeah.
Y'all got to check out CES, man.
Especially,
and that Sony
Can we get
card.
a new Sony
Yeah,
card?
that Sony card. Does it? Is that in Gran Turismo? Like, does the PS5
Yo, it's gotta
built
be. It's
into
gotta
the
be.
car?
It's got to be.
That sounds like
Like,
an
I
accident
really have lots
waiting
of
to
questions.
happen. It's going to be
But it's smart.
too. Come on.
It's smart.
It's gotta be
come
smart.
on, it's a smart car.
Is
It's
it too smart?
The EV platform, you know?
The Russians are going to hack it.
Who cares?
But
Everything's all right. I'm still alive. Florida's still here. California's still here. Like, they hacked everything last time. Well, I mean,
Oh, shouts out to Puerto Rico. They just had another big earthquake. Yo, shouts out and love to Puerto Rico right now. They can't avoid
yeah.
all that shit right now. So
On the down note, we got 2 people that are mean a lot to us both personally and just in the culture in general. John Lewis found out after New Year that he's got stage 4 cancer. Pulling out for him, and then our guy Reggie Mack, Big Brother Panthro, he had a bit of a scare in the past few months. He had been quiet the past few months, and I know, like, over the weekend, he kind of let people know what was going on with him. Reggie, we love you. You know, hope everything is recovering.
Yeah, we'll hear good news on that next checkup. I know he mentioned something about that as well.
Yeah.
So,
but he's still the number one fan for Bournemouth. I mean, like, even through these dark days for Bournemouth, that man's still repping. He's still on what you call it? What show is he on?
It's a Premier League something where they spot him on video
They love him overseas, man. They love him.
Yeah, man.
He's international.
But
very much so.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes well with his recovery and everything. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. Of course, you know.
Hold on, I'm gonna add another up. I only have Tyler Adams as an up, so I'm gonna shout out all the emergency workers down in any of the places that crazy shit's happening. Australia, Puerto Rico, Iran, all the military bases in the Middle East, man. They're literally attacking bases right now.
It's a real time. It's a real time for soldiers right now. So, you know, hopefully y'all stay alert, stay alive, and, you know, hopefully y'all come back home.
Hopefully. No, we want y'all to come back home, not hopefully.
But yeah, definitely shout out everyone that's about to go step into that. I think it's a mess. But yes. Are we sure we got?
This reminds me, vote, people. Please vote.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, even if you
don't
feel
let the
like
Russians hack it that easy.
Yeah. Man. But as always, you can catch us on the socials at eFTCUTD. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter. We still figuring out TikTok. I don't know how it works, but I know we have an account. That's all I know.
More on that.
Yeah, more on that later. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But check us on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Anchor.
Leave us a message.
YouTube. Yes.
Leave us some reviews, 5-star reviews. We might start giving shout outs, man. Drop them 5-star reviews.
Yes,
we get a shout out, you know?
Yes, we want to give y'all shout outs. We want to talk, you know, make sure y'all that we reciprocate the love that y'all are giving us. So yes, make sure you give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast apps. Make sure you go onto the Culture Shop, FTCUTD.myshopify.com. They can get Inter Miami shit. It's okay.
Y'all can get Inter Miami themed culture shit, is what he's trying to say.
And speaking of which, since people are going to be, you know, playing to this, if you want to let us know in our reviews, let us know who's your commentator or personality player of the week. I would say who's not on my list of commentators of the week. It is not Grego. TK, you came in with a nice assist earlier, so you're my, you know.
I throw the lobs.
You're your old MVP.
He is.
Hey man, he slam dunked it.
Here's your player of the week thing.
Oh God! Thank you, sir. It's quite
so let us know who your player of the week is within the For the Culture podcast.
And if you guys want to contribute,
I know Grego will not be making that list.
If you guys want to contribute, maybe we'll pick you for that next week. You'll be our hosted choice, man. So if you got topics or anything else like that you want us to talk about or anything like that, leave us a voicemail on Anchor, or drop us a 5-star review and leave that in the comments. Grego?
So remember, the culture's everywhere, not just here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever.
But for Coach, for TK, for Ringo, for Shad, for me, Grego, the coaches. What? Yo, we talking to Vera this weekend, man. We gotta have a nice. Okay. But yes, I can't wait for that.
Can he bring family business out over?
I was gonna say, happy birthday, Thera.
Yes. Oh, Thera.
Oh, yeah, it's Thera's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Except where the strip is at.
Yeah. Thank God for Facebook.
We will catch y'all.
Coaches here next.
We'll catch y'all next week,
always
man. These guys are crazy. We out of here, man.